Hey, and welcome to the Media Obscura podcast. We're a show dedicated to watching and reviewing obscure movies and television, and then talking about it somewhere at some point, maybe a little bit. Sometimes we just grunt, so, that's a thing. Anyway, I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined today by my faithful co-host, Mike.
Ahoy, neighborino.
That's good. You're not grunting. I like that. That's good. This is already our best episode.
The grunt is the primo stuff. I save it for when we get deeper into the episode.
Yeah, the grunts, really, we save that for special occasions and or morning drinking. Anyway, today on the show, we're going to be talking about the 1987 movie, The Running Man, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. For some reason, I almost just said Michael Jackson. I don't know where that came from.
That would be a very interesting movie.
That would have been awesome. Just like Michael Jackson's The Running Man. It's a dystopian movie about the king of pop being forced to participate in UFC meets American Gladiator.
I mean, it makes sense because in this time period, they police
At
music.
no point did that sentence make sense, but okay.
But hey, they censor music and stuff, so makes sense if they censored Michael Jackson and threw him down there for entertainment.
I guess so. I also feel like I'm just imagining the exact same movie that we got, only with Michael Jackson. So we have like all the one-liners being said by Michael Jackson,
So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a dystopian, a different Running Man with Michael Jackson as Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the other two people who does the Running Man with are David Bowie and Prince.
It's Tito and Jermaine.
Oh, okay, even that. Because I feel like Prince would try to screw over Michael Jackson.
I honestly, the more I think about this, the more I think this is the movie we should have gotten. That said, it isn't. This is a Schwarzenegger movie, and it's based off of a novel from, I'm double checking right now, but I want to say 1982. I'm right.
Nice.
So
yeah,
put that in a pipe and smoke it. And yeah, so it's based on the book, The Running Man, which was written by Stephen King. Richard Bachman, but it was actually Stephen King under a pseudonym. God knows why. I don't know why he wrote under a pseudonym. Probably because it was a little off-brand.
Yeah, that, and Prince does the same thing. Just maybe he just wants to write it. I could see it as he wants to write a book and have people buy it because they're interested, not because Stephen King wrote it.
I guess, yeah. That definitely seems like a play that could have happened. Also, I mean, this book, if the book is very different from the movie, I will say that much, but even if this book that is the source material of the movie we're talking about today, even if it's like 10% as out there as this movie was, that is still like the work of a man in like under the influence of so much cocaine.
Have you not seen Stephen King? It looks like he's always on cocaine.
No, yeah, Stephen King's version of The Shining is like one of the most coked out things ever. Might have to do that on the podcast one day. Did you know about that?
I know he didn't like the movie.
Yeah, he didn't like the movie, and in the 90s, he wrote and directed a TV miniseries version of The Shining that is just so bad.
But then did you see Dr. Sleep?
That's the sequel, right, with your guy in it, Ewan McGregor?
Oh, yeah, Ewan McGregor. It's a really good show.
Well.
Ewan McGregor. You
got a lot of nerve showing your face around these parts. Why do I sound... I can't tell if I'm doing a lisp or if I sound like a character on Rugrats.
Elmer Fudd.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting McGregors.
You got a lot of gumption coming here, McGregor. Ewan McGregor.
Such a stupid bit.
Very stupid, but very good.
Yeah, very on brand at least. So yeah, let's just circle back to The Running Man. I think at some point. It came out in 1987. It's a Schwarzenegger movie, and the basic premise of the movie is that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a cop, a military man. What is he? Like
in the movie they say that you can't use military officers in Running Man. So I'm just going that he's a military person.
Gotcha. So yeah, he's like a military man, and he is basically arrested in the opening scene of this movie. We'll get into the details a bit in a little bit, but like he gets arrested, he breaks out of prison a year and a half later, and then is caught again. and he gets sent into a game show in this dystopian future called The Running Man, where it's essentially criminals being sent into a destroyed battlefield and being hunted like animals.
It's not a destroyed battlefield. It's 400 blocks of the remnants of California, I think San Francisco, after the 1997 earthquake, the great earthquake of 97.
Okay, so Jesus Christ. Basically, it's just an excuse to get Arnold Schwarzenegger in a destroyed city fighting for his life for an hour.
Yeah, it's a TV show. The Running Man is a TV show. That's the name of it. I don't know if we clarified that.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's like a reality TV show that predates reality TV in its inception. And it is it's a weird one. I will say that the one thing about this entire show, besides the fact that I feel like this is a show that could eventually exist on some level, given just how outright stupid people can be, is the host of this show is he's a catch, in my opinion. He's I don't know, you want to say it?
Well, if we have some older listeners, they might know him as from Family Feud, Richard Dawson.
What's that?
What?
Who's he?
Oh, it's Richard Dawson.
It's Richard. That's our way of endearing ourselves to our older listeners.
The young man on the Family Feud. He's on the tube.
Oh, he's from the television.
Oh,
I remember Richard Dawson.
Oh, he was such a handsome young man.
And then his son had to fuck it up by making Dawson's Creek.
He's the reason why I have a divorce.
What? Yeah, this guy walked into his room late one night. He saw his wife in bed with a cutout of Richard Dawson watching reruns of Feud.
Yeah. But you haven't tell people why this is why The Running Man is. It takes place in a dystopian 2017. So technically, this should be happening now.
Technically, this is the world re-COVID-19. Like, I give us a year until this is like reality.
So what happened is, for this future, that they say resources and food are resources and food are low, I guess, and the governments have failed. So now it's like more of a police state for the world, like at least the United States, and it's now a dystopian era, and basically TV runs the show here. Funny. But
yeah, I mean, oh wow, you're so fucking proud of yourself for that.
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, I mean, I guess TV runs the. Don't pretend you came up with that. You definitely read that off a dummy card in front of the mirror this morning. Like, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna fucking get Nick with the best goddamn joke of his life.
Gonna hit him in my head like a bat.
Sorry, continue. Oh my god!
I'm hurt now,
Don't talk
Nick.
about bats. Bats are the enemy now.
God.
Bats are the reason I can't leave my house.
But The Running Man, Nick.
Yeah, but The Running Man, I guess. Okay, so like Schwartzy is put into this show. What are you laughing at?
It's just like you wanted me to go on with that bit about the bat. I'm like,
I was looking forward to it. I saw a couple of openings, a little bit of Del Close's yes and approach to improv, but fuck you, it's fine. Anyway, Schwartzy gets put into this game show. He has to fight for himself. Along the way, he has two friends from prison with him and a woman that he had basically held hostage earlier in the movie. She's kind of brought into things, and she looks an awful lot like Sarah Silverman, so do with that as you may.
Of course. An Hispanic Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, she looks like Hispanic Sarah Silverman, which is cool. I always wanted a little more. I'm not going to finish that thought.
Good.
She's Sarah Silverman, but south of the border. Anyway, so do you think she looks like Sarah Silverman before I just make myself out to sound like an idiot?
You really want to? Yes. She has similarities to Sarah Silverman in a Hispanic way.
Yes. I'm not like...
It's the hair.
I'm not... Yeah, it's totally the way she wears her hair. You're right. And the way it's attached to her head. No, I genuinely didn't mean anything by that, but ever since I saw this movie as a kid, I actually thought she looked like Sarah Silverman. So I actually just wanted some closure there.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. You're good.
Jesus, do I have to like make a sign that says I'm not like... I don't hate... Fuck, just continue before I like dig myself into a deeper grave.
Well, while Nick, thinks about what he's doing with his life,
I'm always thinking about what I'm doing with my life.
So so we're gonna do like a quick synopsis and then go into the details. So she's thrown into it, and then the four of them have to work out and try to win. What happens if you win the Running Man? You go on a tropical vacation, and there's only 3 people that have won. Something Price and Haddad. There's a third name I can't remember.
Yeah, basically there are these 3 guys. The TV show, like I said, it's these people being hunted like animals by these killers that they call stalkers.
Stalkers. Yep.
Basically, 3 people have only ever survived this entire show, and they win like an all-expense-paid life in Maui. Go figure. I'm surprised it wasn't Kokomo. So that happens, and Schwarzenegger's put into it. He has to fight his way through it. Meanwhile, his prison buddies are trying to get access to the satellite that controls world communications so that they can broadcast the fact that this show is propaganda and that TV is bad for you.
This whole movie is basically like TV is bad for you. Don't listen what's on TV. They fake it. It's the original saying fake news thing. They started fake news.
It's literally that. I mean, like we said, this is a dystopian movie, so like it's not like the future is not all bright and sunshiny and rainbows in this, suffice to say. It is a bleak, destroyed future that really likes the color red. Half of this movie is tinted red, which is cool, but a thing. So that's basically it. Schwarzenegger has to survive the game show, help his friends, and just kick the shit out of Richard Dawson, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty good list of things to do. It's a light Saturday.
But now we can go into the little nitty gritty of this movie. Like, why did she get thrown in there?
Yeah.
How did Schwarzenegger get thrown there? What are they trying to take off the TV? Who's Richard Dawson? Well, we're going to explain.
And will Batman get away from the shark? Find out. Same bat time, same bat channel. So I actually really want to rewatch the 60s Batman now. Can we just stop the episode and do that? Oh, okay, Richard Dawson. I guess we should start where all movies do, at the beginning. The movie opens with...
I don't think momentum starts at the beginning.
It's called Memento. Get it right if you're going to try and correct me.
I don't like Mentos, Nick.
I just hate you. So I just genuinely you're going to see it one day. You're going to see me just walking down the street and I'm going to get very disappointed. I'm going to be with you. We're going to be having a great time. It'll be after all this coronavirus shit's behind us. We'll be hanging out at Asbury Park's beach, eating gelato together like friends, wearing flip-flops. Maybe you'll actually get me in a pair of Crocs, you sick son of a bitch. But then it's going to hit me. I'm gonna get this very disappointed look on my face. I'm going to sink into my shoulders and I'm just going to be like, fucking hate you. So, look forward to that. I don't know.
All right.
You already kind of pissed me off because you didn't go for my bat bit, but another quick aside, bat bit sounds like a weird name for a penis, but neither here nor there also. So moving on.
The hell?
Schwartzy starts this movie by flying in a helicopter. You like that? I call him Schwartzy now. Schwartzy is flying a helicopter over a part of Los Angeles where there's apparently like a riot in the streets. People are fighting over food, and he has orders from the powers that be to kill him, to straight up kill him. But Schwartzy's a nice guy, he's a cool dude, and he's all like, oh no, I'm not gonna kill them. They can't even defend themselves.
Get to the chopper.
Schwartzy, we're already in the chopper. Get to another one. Opens the door, dives out onto a second helicopter. Base jumping. So yeah, get ready for a lot of that in this episode.
Oh no. But
he basically is like, I'm not gonna kill them.
They're unarmed. Didn't you hear me? They just want food. There's women and children out there.
They just want the protein load.
They want protein shake. Get to the chopper.
Got weirdly Russian there. I think you were doing the Dolph Lundgren from Rocky IV version of this movie.
I must break you.
He was almost cast, by the way, as the main character in this. Also, Christopher Reeves was almost the Schwarzenegger character, so there's some trivia for you.
Christopher Reeves, the Superman?
And he turned it down. Yep, he turned it down to make a little movie called Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. So,
I thought Christopher Reeves was already paralyzed.
No, that happened in the 90s, Mike.
Oh, well, now I know.
Yeah, I guess you do. But yeah, he refuses to shoot these innocent people because Schwartzy's a nice dude like that. He's the governor of California, don't you know? And
Wait, I think this is the only movie in the United States with 2 governors in it.
Maybe. That's true. Yeah, because Jesse Ventura was the governor of a state at one point too.
Yeah, we got the governor of California and the governor of Minnesota in this.
Go figure. Well, no, technically the other movie with it, Mike, is Predator, because they're both in that too.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Go figure. Okay. But, no, so yeah, he refuses to kill the people, and everyone in the helicopter is like, dude, you're being a total fucking buzzkill right now, okay? We came here to kill some civilians. We're going to kill some civilians. Strap them down. We're killing some civilians.
I don't think they even killed the civilians. They take control, knock them out, and then that's it. We don't know, because the power of editing we've seen so far says otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they still complete the mission. Like, what are they going to do? Like, okay, we got them under control. We better just turn back and not complete the mission? I think they killed the people, Mike.
Now, my other question... Yeah, but
okay,
my other
please,
question is for this. Question. He must be new...
No. Did you raise your hand?
My hand's raised. In the video it is.
Yep. Mike?
But my question is, he must be new at the job because you'd think he'd know what these people do, right? So he knows what he's getting himself into. Like, why is he shocked all of a sudden? He's like, they want me to kill innocent civilians? Like,
that's true.
The other times they haven't?
He sounds like, if he's piloting a helicopter, you assume he has some rank or some pull, that he's done this job and that he's somewhat good at it. But that, yeah, he does seem like oddly shocked. But you want me to kill these civilians? Like, this is a police state. Did you skip orientation or something? Like, I'm just saying, man, like, on some level, you fucked up if you're surprised by the fact that you're killing people.
Interesting. And I'm looking on IMDb. On the movie, it says it takes place in 2017. On IMDb, it says in the year 2019. So he goes, what happens is he gets stopped. Like, everyone on the helicopter dogpiles him and stops him. And basically he goes to prison for 18 months, elapsing into 2019. Oh, you clever shrew.
Don't call me clever, but
because that's another problem I have with this movie is that prison scene. You can continue. I'll get to that.
Okay. So he's in prison. 18 months have passed. My immediate thing is, as soon as we see him in prison, he is still Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he's still a jacked guy. You would think if he spends like a year and a half in a gulag, essentially, he would lose some mass. And everyone around him, for the most part, is very skinny, very emaciated, like they've clearly been starving. But Schwarzenegger walks in and he still looks like the bounty man. Like,
and he's carrying a steel bar for buildings.
They make a point to show that Arnold Schwarzenegger is still Arnold Schwarzenegger. You
think he can actually lift that in real life?
Maybe with the wires holding it up. I don't know.
So then but because of this, it brings us to the 2 other people that would be joining him in his fun-filled adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And what were their names? It was like something Logan and...
I don't know. Just pick 2 names out of a hat, buddy.
Bill and Ted.
Okay. I was going to say Loggins and Collins, but like Kenny Loggins and Phil Collins, but sure.
It's their names in the movie are Harold and William.
Okay, so Harold and Williams. That's right. So he has these 2 sidekicks. They help him break out of prison. There's a massive prison scene, which looks very hastily edited together, in my opinion. Like,
really fast.
Yeah, it's just like very clearly they didn't know what they were shooting when they shot it. But it's kind of a cool scene because it's all these prison inmates overpowering guards. There's a huge shootout, kind of standard fare, honestly. But there's this one part with an electrified fence. Like it's like those Invisi-fences you use on dogs, except if you pass it, your head explodes.
Yeah, they call it the deadline. And if you have a collar that you wear around your neck, and when you pass the deadline, the sensor goes off. It's like a dog. It's like one of those dog collars, and they have the invisible fence around the property, and the dog passes it gets shocked, or like the vibration goes off. Or same thing, but your head explodes.
It's like that, or the fence in Wild Wild West, where if you step out of the parameters, a flying buzzsaw tries to cut your head off.
Exactly.
I just had to bring up Wild Wild West because apparently that's who I am now.
Wild West.
That happens, and
but
yeah, there's this one guy while they're trying to like turn off this fence by hacking the mainframe, because it's the 80s, you could still say I'm hacking the mainframe and be impressive. There's this one guy who gets a little Chico. He gets a little antsy and he runs over the fence.
He's like, "No, Chico, not yet."
His head explodes, but like,
could have waited 5 seconds.
Well, no, besides the fact that he could have waited 5 seconds, it's him running, and then you see like a watermelon where his head is supposed to be basically just explode, and it looks so derpy, and I love it.
Like there was a guy that had the watermelon on his head that had to run with that thing on his head that it exploded.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I love about it. It's just such a funny image, and it's framed so weirdly, but I love it. But yeah, they eventually do get the Invisi-fence down, and they escape.
But hold on. Now my problem with this prison scene.
Holding on.
So, my problem is that this prison scene was too easy. All right. All they knew is that they had one, the guy who puts the code in that turns off the sensor for the fence sits right in the middle, like where the prison is. In with the inmates.
That's true.
Not in a separate building up high where they can't reach it. No, down there, and puts the code in with everyone around to see. And while no one's guarding him, so he can be overpowered.
Dude, he even when what are the two guys' names? Williams and Philip?
William and Harold.
Harold. I think it's Harold who like watches the guard put the password in, and the guard even looks at him and is like, cut that shit out. Like, go away.
Like, hey, shoot. Dude, go. Don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
Oh my.
But okay, no. That's true. That's a very valid point. The other part of it is there's a second guard manning the gate from outside. So after Harold gets the password and disables the fence, the guard quickly is able to re-enable it because he's right next to the fence and he can see it's disabled, right? That was stupid. Not only was that stupid, it feels like when you're playing like Grand Theft Auto or something and your friend's trying to get into your car and you just accelerate a little bit as soon as they open the door.
Yeah. And they got out so... There was not enough guards there. They were completely outnumbered in this, and they were shooting, but then as soon as the prisoners got the guns, they were screwed over.
Yeah, I mean...
This prison wasn't good. Not at all. They got out real fast, real easily, and Chico was an idiot.
Yeah, no, Chico got written out of the movie. I'm sure Chico was like a bigger character who just got written out because he was fucking annoying.
He had to be... They had to write him in because, like, okay, we got to explain what these things do. So we'll just add some random guy running through the fence like an idiot.
Yeah. And then, like, it's just a grip. It's not even like an actor. It's just a guy who is helping on set. And they're like, all right, put a jumpsuit on. We're going to blow your fucking head off.
Awesome.
This is my big break. Explodes.
We'll just attach a bunch of squibs to a watermelon and blow it up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's like the opening sequence of this movie. We then get Schwarzenegger returning to Los Angeles in hiding. He tells his rebel buddies, I'm Han Solo at the end of A New Hope. I'm not going to help you guys. Screw you guys. He actually says exactly that. He's like, have you guys ever seen Star Wars A New Hope? I am not Han Solo.
But before he gets away, they had to get the bracelets, the necklaces off before they get their heads explode. So they went to a guy that was a musician, and they took it off. They took off one of the guys. They took off Williams' thing, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger came up. He's like, "You're the cop that put my buddies in jail and destroyed my music."
Oh, that's right. So yeah, that is kind of the valuable part of this that was worth bringing up. Basically, yeah, this rebellion guy doesn't like Schwartzy, I'm just going to keep calling him Schwartzy at this point.
Hey, Schwartzy boy.
Schwartzy boy.
Schwartzy boy.
He basically doesn't like Schwarzenegger's character because apparently when Schwarzenegger got detained on the helicopter, he was framed for something. He was framed for killing those civilians, and he's now known as the Butcher of Bakersfield. Which
is a great name. I'll give him that one. That was a good name that they chose.
Until you write it out as an acronym and it just spells Bob. Yeah, so that happens. Schwartzy's just like, you're full of horse shit. You and your rebels. I'm going to skip the country. Ha ha.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Schwartzy, you're getting on a truck. Get to the chopper.
He does that as much as every chance he gets. Any vehicle he has to go to. Get to the chopper.
Yeah, basically. And he's trying to like sync up with his brother in another city because his brother will help him get out of the country. But he ends up going into his brother's apartment. He's waiting for his brother, but a woman shows up instead. It's I forgot her character's name. It's the character that I said looks like Sarah Silverman.
Her character name is Amber Mendez.
Amber Mendez, right. So she gets there. She's a musician for the cable network that hosts The Running Man, basically evil NBC. Let's call it the Federation of Extreme Propaganda. Let's call him Fox. Can we just call him Fox?
You can call him Fox.
Okay, so she works for Fox, which hosts The Running Man. You like that political commentary there? Very subtle. You guys really, you really got to read between the lines. This is the perfect part for if this is a video or if we release a video of it, the words Fox to just appear, like the Fox logo to just appear on the screen. Federation of Extremity. So, she works for them. She does music. She writes like the jingles for their TV shows, I think.
Yes.
And Schwarzenegger, she turns on the TV and we see this character on TV named Captain Freedom who's doing like a Jane Fonda style workout tape.
Yep, and that's Jesse Ventura, the governor of Minnesota.
Yes, the former governor. So he's there, and he's doing like this workout tape. He's basically a wrestler because Jesse Ventura was a wrestler in real life.
Right.
Everything he says in this movie just sounds like it's straight up out of like a bad wrestling episode or like Hercule from Dragon Ball. If anyone here is a Dragon Ball fan, he sounds like Mr. Satan.
Oh, he's like the combination of Raccoon and Mr. Satan.
Yeah, with like a healthy dose of Hulk Hogan in there too.
Yeah, there you go. That's the monstrosity that's made.
Yeah, so she's doing the tape. She's watching the tape, and Schwarzenegger basically takes her hostage and is like, "You're going to help me get out of the country." And do you know why?
How did he get in the building?
What do you mean, how did he get into the building? It's his brother's apartment.
Yeah, so you got to let people know.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
I did. You just have poor listening skills, and you just don't want to do the bits that I try and get you to do. Honestly, Mike, I feel like we need to go to a relationship counselor because there are moments where I just want to grab a pillow and suffocate you to death.
Well, I blame your mother-in-law.
It's a good thing to have on recorded. Yeah. But yeah, no, like that happens, and he takes her hostage and basically forces her to help him get out of the country. And he does it by saying, please, which is one of my favorite bad one-liners ever.
This movie is full of one-liners. I'm going to say there's like 20.
It's full of bad one-liners specifically. Like even for Schwarzenegger.
There's especially a famous one in there that he uses in every movie because he was in one. I feel like it's in his contract. He has to say it to be like,
oh no, he has to say, I'll be back. That's the rules. Them's the rules.
Them's the rules.
But
he says please, but how though?
So basically she's on like an exercise bike. She's like tied to it because he's buying a plane ticket out of the country. And she's like, I'm never going to help you. Why would I help you? And he just smirks and he's like, because I said, please. And he lifts like the exercise machine off the ground with one hand.
And this thing is bolted to the ground, so he rips up the flooring with it too. And she's like,
yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he rips bolts, like metal bolts out of the fucking ground, and it's just ridiculous.
Again, showing Schwarzenegger hasn't changed.
He does this once again after being in prison for 18 months. Just saying. I wanted I just want a quick scene of Schwarzenegger in his prison cell. All of the prison guards are walking by and they're like, and this specimen, we've emaciated and starved him for 1.5 years, but he's still in shape. And they all look into the cell, and the cell is just turned upside down like Sarah Connor's in Terminator 2 when she's working out in it.
Are you Sarah Connor? No, I'm Amber. You must be Sarah Connor. Come with me. Come to the shop.
Sarah Connor. We have to go. Come on. The T-1000, it's coming.
I am a Terminator. I am the governor of California.
You remember that Robot Chicken sketch where it's a Terminator, but it's a dog, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Terminator baby? Do you remember that? It's a really old one. I think I showed it to you like 15 years ago.
I vaguely remember Terminator baby.
Yeah. Come on, the Terminator Poppy's coming.
Oh my God.
If anyone hasn't noticed, Mike and I love doing Schwarzenegger impressions. It's our life's passion.
And Stallone.
And Stallone. Yeah, if you've ever heard, I mean, you guys have definitely heard of like Top Chef or like any of those kind of like Food Network cooking shows. For Mike and I, it's doing 80s action heroes. That's kind of our contest. So
yeah, we're Top Chef of voice acting.
Yeah, I'm going to put some parsley in this beef risotto.
Get to the pork chop.
Come on, get to the Olive Garden.
You are one ugly murder.
I'll be back with your breadsticks. I'm away.
The breadsticks. I'm an Olive Garden. Hey, dude, can I get some breadsticks?
So ridiculous.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I want to speak to your manager. You can go fuck yourself.
I don't take requests.
Yeah.
I'm having a stroke right now.
That's okay. So is everyone else in the world at this point in time. Hey, would you like to try $1 margaritas? I work at Applebee's now.
Ooh, I want a margarita now.
Yeah, so do I. I actually have some whiskey upstairs that I might tap into later.
I have some mead.
Nice. Oh, I have honey whiskey, so we can be honey bunnies.
Honey buddies.
Hey, how you doing, honey bunny? You're my honey bunny, and I care about you, so I got you some honey whiskey.
It's not a tumor. Not a tumor.
I'll be right back.
I'll be in the room soon.
Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed like a bee. I'll be back.
Where were we?
I just need to catch my breath.
Yeah. What the hell just happened?
I saw Red, and then I saw Arnold.
So I remember now. She says please, and then takes her to the airport because he's gonna sneak away to Hawaii.
Yes, Hawaii.
He's holding her by the neck. He's like, "I gotta snap your neck like a chicken." And he's like, "Oh, okay." She is pretty skinny, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so he takes her to the airport, and he tries to basically sneak past customs, and he successfully does it by posing as her husband, using her travel ID to get past security, and then pretending that she lost hers in her purse. So that security kind of like pushes them along. It's a very minor detail, but it's like something that very clearly would not actually work.
You sure? Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. Because TSA.
Dude, TSA would have tased me as soon as I was like, hey, one sec, let me get my ID. You weren't prepared. Oh, fuck.
Let me get it out of her purse. He's got something.
Why is the electricity green on that taser? As I get tased to the ground.
That's how you get the Schwarzenegger accent.
Starts foaming from the mouth from, being tased. He's brought bubble bath. Tase him more.
It's got bubble bath.
It's supposed to be less than 6 liters.
He's on bath salts.
He's on bath salts. Quick. So yeah, gets through security. She ends up kneeing him in the balls and runs away.
Yeah.
And he gets arrested, ... again. They can just call this movie the one where Schwarzenegger gets arrested repeatedly.
But how did no one notice something wrong when he was holding her neck the entire time?
Oh, you don't affectionately hold on to your partner like that in public?
Just like, I'm going to hold on to your neck the entire time. And I was like, because I love you.
That sounds about right. I'm confused.
And then he insults her Hawaii shirt because I'm pretty sure that's where he got the Hawaii shirt from. the Hawaiian shirt, the flower shirt from.
Oh, no, that was definitely not her Hawaiian shirt, Mike. It fits Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, good point.
He Amazon primed that shit.
There you go. 24-hour delivery.
Which I'm sorry, intrusive thought, but like a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, did you and I not want to Amazon Prime cheesy Hawaiian shirts during an episode of the podcast? I swear to God, I think this is a thing that happened.
It was a Hawaiian shirt with other Hawaiian shirts on it.
We still need to do that. I'm sorry, I just wanted to bring that up.
But
maybe when the world's back to normal.
So what happens is that the way he insults it is she's like, I get sick, I get car sick, I get air sick, I'm gonna vomit all over you. It's like, I don't care, it doesn't show up on the shirt. I guess he's saying his shirt's like vomit.
That's right. He insults the shirt himself, and I'm just like, Arnold, why are you wearing? I feel like wearing a Hawaiian shirt to Hawaii is more attention grabbing than not wearing a Hawaiian shirt to Hawaii.
I am a tourist, eh?
With a Canadian accent. Arnold Schwarzenegger doing a Canadian. Yeah, I'm a Canadian, eh? How you doing?
My question is,
my name is Reykjavik.
Burn. Sick burn.
Sick burn.
Mediocre Canadian comedy.
Jesus, every Kids in the Hall fan just loaded a gun.
Now, my question is, with all these dystopian future movies like Running Man, Demolition Man, Fireman. No, I'm just kidding with the last one.
Bad Future Man. That's the name of my dystopian movie.
I guess not Mad Max. What's the
Mad Max is a dystopian future movie.
But that takes place with the whole world. But with Indiana Jones, with Harrison Ford, what was that one?
What are you talking about? Oh, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. That's a Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Okay, those three movies. Those just take
Total
place
Recall.
like Total. Well, maybe Total Recall, because Demolition Man and The Running Man specifically, this is only happening in the United States. This dystopian future only is affecting the United States. Every other nation is, I think, doing great. Go to Canada, go to Mexico, go to England, go to China, Japan, go to Iceland, go to Antarctica. They're all doing much better. They're not in a dystopian future.
True.
They're in our timeline. This America, not so much. What the hell?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people just tell stories about America not being a superpower because it's such an interesting idea. I mean, we've essentially, we've been the superpower in the world for almost as long as movies have existed. So it's
more or less.
You know, it's a really interesting point, though. I don't really have anything to add to it, though.
But I feel like if I made a dystopian movie, I would make sure to be clear that this is also happening into other countries, not just one specific place. Like, what the hell?
Well, no, there are dystopian works of fiction, though, where that is the case. Like, what's it called? That's definitely a thing in 1984. The entire world is like that. Like, it's this weird dystopian society where there are only 3 countries left.
The movie's called 1984?
No, the book 1984, although it was also a movie.
There's only 3 countries left?
Okay, there are 3 superpowers left, and they're made up of all the countries in the world. So, like, Oceania is, like, Australia, and, like, you see what I mean? Like, it's multiple countries, but it's under one guise now. So, like, the American continent is considered one country.
Oh. And I thought of another dystopian future movie.
What?
I'll let you guess. Guess what other dystopian future movie I'm thinking of, Nick?
Rugrats in Paris.
No. Try again.
Damn it.
I'll give you one more.
Back to the Future 2.
Damn it, you're right.
Wait, was I?
Yeah, because it's in Back to the Future 2. Only Hill Valley is affected by this dystopian future. No one else is.
It's a fucking ass pull if I've ever heard one, Mike.
It's hell to you and me, normal for everyone else. But just Hill Valley is just affected. Everyone else there in the United States is fine. I don't know why Biff was only like taking over Hill Valley and not, broadening his mind.
Well, that's because he had a very modest business loan and couldn't run for president until 2016. Moving on. So, I mean, it's true. Moving on, though.
Dystopian version?
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger gets arrested again. That's the point. And this time, Killian, the host of The Running Man, finds out about him, and he's like, oh, he's perfect. Our ratings have been stagnating, and we're going to get this guy in here. He's big, he's strong, he's and he's going to, he's going to bring our ratings up. So Killian gets Schwarzenegger. He tells him, hey, we caught your buddies from prison. We're going to send them into the show unless you do the show. And Schwarzenegger's just like, oh, that doesn't sound fun. I'll do it. Just leave them alone.
Get them to the chopper.
Once again, get to the chopper. And
I will work it in any way I can.
Well, you have to. So that happens. Schwarzenegger is then sent into the Running Man. And at the debut of the show, Jesse, her name was Jesse Ventura, you said?
Jesse,
No,
Amber?
Jesse Ventura is the wrestler. Amber, that's her name. I don't know. Now I'm just imagining Jesse Ventura in a wig. Anyway, Amber, while Schwarzenegger is being prepped for the Running Man, Amber gets kind of suspicious about the footage of Arnold Schwarzenegger massacring everyone, when he became the Butcher of Bakersfield. Yeah. So she looks into it. She grabs the original undoctored footage of him killing these people. And
she doesn't see it, though. She finds the copies of it. And the way they organized it was really stupid. Anyone could have found this. The raw footage. The footage doctored for the show. Like, what the hell? You couldn't be a little more subtle with this?
They're dystopian, not smart. There's a difference.
Fine, I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, she gets it, and she's, like, trying to sneak away with it. Meanwhile, we do see the doctored footage of the Butcher of Bakersfield, which is literally the opening scene of the movie with the same camera angles, only cut up a little bit so that it's like Schwarzenegger saying, innocent people down there, turn back, Schwartzy. Schwartzy, don't kill these people. The hell with you. Don't do it.
And then it seems, I don't know how they got the recording for that, though. Like, no one questioned, like, were they down there when they were doing this? What the hell?
They had a lot of GoPros on every rooftop in LA.
Where was the camera in the helicopter?
It's true. It doesn't. I want to say suspension of disbelief, but like honestly, that's like no. Half of the fun is calling out how ridiculous it is, right?
This camera's everywhere.
It's omnipresent, Mike. It's a dystopia.
There you go. Run by television. But when this happens, they're at the same time. They're preparing Arnold Schwarzenegger to get ready to go into the Running Man. So they're like shooting him up with a bunch.
They're shooting him up with tracking devices and spandex. That's about it.
I don't think tracking devices, because he does disappear at one point. They don't know where he is.
Oh, maybe. What are they doing then? Maybe they're just drugging him for long enough to actually get him in the show.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what they're doing, because I know that at one point the one scene that disturbed me was when they stuck the long needle between like his knuckles, fingers. Right? Yeah, that was.
That was pretty bad. But one thing I do want to circle back on is the montage, the doctored footage of Schwarzenegger killing civilians is edited very badly, and it feels like a YouTube poop. Like, it feels like a YouTube poop from 2008. And I genuinely love that. But yeah, he's put into the show right before they're deployed into the battlefield. He sees that his friends are being dropped in anyway.
But I want to bring in one other person. He gets a court-appointed like manager for his a TV manager, and he's just reading like his contract. He's like, okay, sign here. And he's like, Schwarzenegger tries to sign it, but he has like the right on. It's like, okay, use my back. And Schwarzenegger just gave his smirk, and everyone in the audience is knowing like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. Yeah, and he starts, he signs his name, and it stabs the pen into this guy's back. He's like shocked, like this happened. He's like, oh, make sure to send me a copy. And then he screams and runs away.
You would think like that this lawyer would have, I feel like this lawyer who has actually dealt with actual violent criminals possibly would have had this happen to him before. I don't know. That's just me.
How many holes? Yeah, I think he has in his back.
Yeah, no, like I feel like if he takes his like coat off, there's just literally a constant stream of ink dots on his back.
He has a tattoo now. That's how he gets his tattoos done.
Yeah, he's playing Foursquare on the back. Or he's playing not Foursquare, Connect 4. With all the stabbed holes in his back.
Connect 4, tic-tac-toe, whatever you want to do. He's losing, obviously.
He's drawing a bunch of constellations on his back. Anyway.
I'll take that.
So Schwartzy's reunited with his friends. They're all sent into the game, and before they're deployed into it through this like rocket-powered tube system that looks like a water slide,
A lot of fun.
Schwarzenegger, because he has to, he's like, Killian, I'll be back. He has to. It's a Schwarzenegger movie.
And it takes Killian back a bit. He's like, oh, only in a rerun. Oh, in a rerun. I have the Ewan McGregor list, but still, apparently.
I noticed. But yeah, he's like, only in a rerun. Yeah, and then he sends him into the tube. The tube itself, like you said, looks ridiculously fun. It looks like a water slide from like Action Park or something with rockets on it, which somehow makes it sound less safe, but makes it sound a lot more fun if you ask me. Like, I'll risk my life on that.
It reminds me of the Alpine coaster in Action Park.
Yes. Do you want to tell them what that is?
Ooh, boy. Well, first of all, Action Park, if you don't know and you're not from New Jersey, is a water park at a ski resort open in the summer when the ski resort's closed. And it's safe, sort of, mostly safe now, but back then, before we were there, they had a bunch of rides. Yeah, back in the 80s, they had a bunch of rides and water rides that were very unsafe, and people have gotten hurt, even killed at this park. They've had things like, it's very, very famous things like this loop water slide where you go down, it does a loop. Obviously, it's very unsafe, and people have gotten hurt and stuck in it. They've had this lake thing where it had like live electrical wires in it for some reason, or they have a slide that leads into a lake, but like if you're short on it, you'll land into rocks.
Yep.
And the infamous Alpine coaster, which was you sat in the seat. I don't think you had brakes, or it had brakes, but people didn't use them.
You did have brakes, but if you actually used them, there was a good chance that you would fly off if you didn't pump the brakes.
Right. And it's just basically a little track, and you're on this cart, and you fly down this on the hill on this track with the cart. And if you don't use the brakes and you hit the turn, you go flying off, and you're not protected or strapped in, not a helmet, nothing. And then people have been killed on this ride, and we've obviously been on it too. It's a rite of passage.
Yep. So, Action Park is a very infamously dangerous place. It actually has the reputation and the nickname Class Action Park or Traction Park. That is how infamously dangerous this place is.
And I've heard Nick at this water park. Well, one water ride in this, you have to wear football helmets because you get jostled around. You don't want to hit your heads. And there's this toilet bowl one. They have it in other water parks too, but this one, it's all four of us. And what happened is we got abruptly stopped it at the water, but Nick was in the front and I was in the back, and we were facing each other. And I got launched forward, and my hip bone mashed him in the head. I was like, Jesus, what the hell just happened?
There's an asterisk to this. One, Mike and I were being assholes and jostling each other all day about it. Two, not only did you fly forward and crack me in the eye with your hip, you cracked me in the eye that you had previously nearly blinded like 4 months earlier.
Like, what the hell? Class Action Park.
I love that story, though, because that is the only time I personally have inflicted damage on you, because you had a really bad bruise on your hip from that, because you hit bone. Yeah. You didn't hit my eye. You hit the bone surrounding my eye.
You hard head, man.
I'm very stubborn.
And the workers were like,
Sees us laughing as I'm covering my eye and you're holding your hip. They're fine. They're fine.
We're fine.
But
if you guys are in New Jersey in the summer, make sure to check out it. It's not called Action Park anymore. It's called Mountain Creek Water Park. Be sure to check that place out and, enjoy the pain.
It's a rite of passage.
There's also like a Tarzan swing that goes into a pool, but it's in the shade. And because it's in the shade, it's not heated. So it's freezing cold. So you'll basically go into shock if you jump into that. And I did.
Yeah. Before all this coronavirus stuff, basically guaranteed that place to be closed this summer, I think. I actually was in the middle of talking to Jackson about us doing a pilgrimage back there. No. And but not only going back there, but going there the night before and partying and then going to the park the next day. Staying at the ski resort.
Just drinking there the night before to numb the pain, and then go there and then drink some more to numb the pain after that.
Going to the park still drunk and then dying possibly. Hopefully it happens.
You wouldn't feel it.
Life's short. So yeah, they get into the game show itself. They're dropped in, they're chased around, and this is where the movie, like the plot kind of becomes very secondary. His rebel friends do believe that the satellite that controls communications is somewhere there because no one in their right mind would go there. So they're looking for it. But the rest of the movie basically plays out like a video game where there are these 3 hunters. What are they called again? 3 stalkers?
Stalkers. Yep. I mean, there's 3. There's 4 stalkers. One, I don't think
there's 4.
One isn't used.
Yeah. But there are 3 of them ostensibly, and they each have a gimmick. They're there's video
5.
game. Okay.
There's Sub-Zero, there's Dynamo, there's Fireball, and there is
Captain
Buzzsaw.
Freedom. Oh, Buzzsaw.
Captain Freedom.
And Captain Freedom, you're right. So there are 5. But they each basically have different gimmicks, like
Boss battles.
They're boss battles, yeah. Sub-Zero is a hockey player who uses ice to his advantage.
And the actor for that, he's familiar. You remember what he's from?
What's he from?
Austin Powers. He plays Random Task.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Or does he actually play Odd Job?
He plays the odd... I don't know. I think he plays like the odd job character in Austin Powers, though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. But his gimmick is ice. Dynamo has a bunch of Christmas lights on and he shoots electricity.
And he sings opera.
Which is so over the top. It's so incredible. Like, genuinely, if I'm ever a villain in a movie, I want a gimmick as lackluster as sings opera.
He's Sparky. He's a Sparky boy. He zaps you. Zap, zap.
Then there's the other one. What was his name? Firestarter?
The Fireball. His gimmick is, fire.
He has a flamethrower. Pretty weak gimmick. Buzzsaw, who has chainsaws for hands. He's basically double Ash Williams.
He doesn't have chainsaw for hands. He just carries around chainsaws. He's fine.
I thought they were I thought they were actually a part of his hands. Like he had a Kimbo.
No.
That's so much lamer. Oh my God.
He just carries chainsaws around that cut through steel. Nothing special.
How is he a boss? He went to a Home Depot and bought a couple chainsaws.
And Captain Freedom has no gimmick. He's just Governor Jesse Ventura. He's just a wrestler. That's it.
Well, no, his gimmick is the lack of a gimmick. His gimmick is integrity, because there's a scene where he walks in like a metal suit and he's like, "What is this shit?" and starts like throwing pieces of it off.
It's like,
I was killing people like him with my bare hands once upon a time.
We have the code of the gladiator. He's a basically like traditional Roman gladiator fighting kind of guy.
He just does like a bad wrestling speech about honor, and then he fights CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger. But we'll get to that.
And you say this is like a video game, but Nick, there is a video game for this movie.
There was, but like not on a console that anyone remembers. Like it was on like the Amstrad probably, or the Amiga, or the MSX.
It was on the Grand Slam it says C64 cassette. So it's on the Commodore.
It was on the Commodore 64. Okay. I mean, if you want to play it, well, I mean, you can't because you can't leave your house. But like, I could have easily have gotten us that game to play.
I mean, the other two you said too, or it was on the Amiga, the Amstrad, the CPC, Atari ST, Commodore 64, and the ZX Spectrum.
It was on the 80s home computers. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
These 80s home computers, popular systems at the time, sure, remembered fondly. I don't think anyone, especially anyone in our age, is going to know what the fuck these things are. They might know what the Commodore is at the most.
I know all these, though.
I mean, I really want an Amiga and I want a Commodore. Like, I actually do want to play these consoles at some point. It's just like, I'm not going to realistically ever own them. I'll probably use emulation.
But what was I going to say? It was important, too.
Sound the alarm. Mike had something important to say.
Uh-oh. Shit. Well, continue talking, Nick. I'm sure it's gonna hit me like a train.
Yeah. Anyway, they continue through. You know, they're trying to get the comm relay and all that stuff. Schwarzenegger goes up against Sub-Zero. He ends up fighting him and he kills him, which is he basically is chased around the ice rink and he kills him with a chain by like slitting his throat.
Because Sub-Zero's gimmick is not just ice; he's a hockey player and has a razor sharp hockey stick. and he shoots the skinny guy, the Harold, the skinny one, into a goal, and the goal closes on him like a clam and seals him up. So basically, Schwarzenegger just kills all of them, and the other ones don't.
Yeah, and basically, it's kind of like the movie Game of Death at the end. Well, yeah, it's basically Game of Death, where like Bruce Lee is ascending through different levels, and he's fighting a different person, and is basically saving his friends who are useless.
Which one's Kareem?
All of them. I don't know. So it's a bit like Game of Death, where like the whole final act of the original movie, the one that Bruce Lee never finished, was basically just Bruce Lee going through and fighting all of these people one-on-one. That's the point I was getting at. So Schwartzy, sorry, he fights Sub-Zero. Arnie Schwartzy, he fights and kills Sub-Zero. And everyone freaks out at the game show. They're like, wait, this has never happened before. Holy shit.
We never had a jacked Austrian man come in and kill everyone.
Yeah. And they're completely flabbergasted by this, which is hilarious, because then you get Richard Dawson being like, well, this has never happened again. We're going to take a quick commercial break and find out what's going on. So,
which at the same time, what we don't mention is that at the same time when these fights go on, it cuts back to the show and then the audience, like, because there's an audience sitting and watching him, and what the way the audience participates is he calls one of them up, and then they get to choose what stalker goes after them, and then he starts giving them prizes and stuff as this goes on.
And the prize is always, or one of the prizes is always the Running Man board game.
It looks like a Monopoly.
I know, it was a really nice detail. It was cute as fuck.
Ooh, also, the Running Man
board game, I feel like it would play more like Battleship, but that's just me. No, so that's happening. It's really funny though, because like the audience of this game show, even though it is a murderous game show, the audience is almost exclusively old people. Like it's a game show's audience, you know?
I think I remember what I was going to say, but because people like are brainwashed. That's the reason why, is because the people are brainwashed into thinking that these people are horrible people. Like the butcher of Baker Street, he killed 60 innocent people. So yeah, they're going to be like, yeah, I want this guy to die. So it makes sense.
Absolutely. I'm not even debating that.
But the thing I remembered is that because this is a dystopian future, and there's a lot of censorship, Richard Dawson and this other old guy, the one that takes off the collar, the explosive collar that we saw before, who will come in again, they make these old TV references, and no one else that's younger than them gets it. Richard Dawson says, it's no Gilligan's Island, and they're like, what? You know, Gilligan's Island, and it's like the one with the boat. Yeah, yes, the one with the boat. And he hangs up, and then the other one is, and you have the Mr. Spock, and he's like, who's Mr. Spock? So that's the other thing that goes on, is like no one that's like over 50, no one under 50 understands the references that they talk about.
Yeah, no one gets any of the jokes in this, and that's just because, like you said, it's going to go over their heads. They're too young for it.
And it's been censored, so they can't watch it again.
Yeah, that too. That's also a really good point. On top of that, there are just a lot of like random references. Like in the background in one scene, one of the characters is near a sign for a TV show that says the hate show, or the hate boat, instead of the love boat.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of a dumb one, but it's kind of cute. There's also another one at the end of the movie. A character says, "Don't touch that dial," which I thought was like an old MTV slogan, but it's actually just like a generic catchphrase from back in the day before, like when you're throwing to commercial, you'd be like, "Don't touch that dial."
Don't touch that dial. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But what happens with Sub-Zero every time Schwarzenegger kills someone, he has to throw a catchphrase in. Every time. So when he killed Sub-Zero, he looks at so when he kills Sub-Zero, he looks at the camera. He's like, Killian, look, Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. And then he just walks away and high fives his buddy. He's like, that's not a good one-liner.
That one didn't make any sense to me. I don't know. It completely went over my head.
So he's higher now. Sub-Zero means he's like negative numbers, so now he's just
no, I got the
warmer?
Sub-Zero part. The Plane Zero, I'm just like, it's weak. But yeah, they continue. They press on. They get attacked by Buzzsaw.
Well, because the next thing that happens is like, well, when they get back from commercial break and they're doing their thing, at the same time he calls up another person. Asks another person to come up to choose, and he's like, "Oh man, I don't know. Buzzsaw is great, but Dynamo is also great." He's like, "Why not choose both? Here they are, Dynamo and Buzzsaw." And they're like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. And then you get
basically But basically, Killian decides that because someone has just died, a stalker has never been killed in the history of the show, and it made the ratings like jump 8 points. So they basically were just like, well, because the ratings are doing so well, let's have fun with it, which is why he's like, why not both? Send both of them in. So yeah, Buzzsaw and Dynamo do get sent in. You're right. And this leads to the group, which is joined. They're joined now by, I forgot her name again, dude.
Amber
finally joins
caught.
them. She gets caught and she's sent into the game also. She joins up with them, but they get split up. So Harold and Amber are being attacked and chased by Dynamo while they're also getting the code to the satellite.
But and fun fact about Dynamo, the actor was trained in like soprano opera,
so he's really singing.
He's actually singing opera in the movie, which is very interesting to me.
I like that. That's a nice touch. Yeah, but like they get split up. Schwarzenegger and Williams, they're attacked by Buzzsaw, who gets Williams. Like he nicks Williams, and Williams dies after the battle's over. In that kind of very prototypical action movie, you got to finish this fight for us kind of, display of brash chauvinism. But Schwarzenegger fights Buzzsaw, and the way he beats him is very cruel. He basically grabs one of the chainsaws, turns it around, and lacerates his peen.
Buzzsaw goes to say that that I love this chainsaw. This chainsaw is a part of me, and now it's gonna be a part of you. And he's about to cut his head off, and then Schwarzenegger's like, and then pushes it back and turns it upside down, and is like, "No thanks, you can keep it," or some one-liner, and then shoves it up his nuts. And then Buzzsaw starts screaming and then goes, oh, and then dies.
Yes. And then later when they ask what happened to Buzzsaw, Schwarzenegger just very quickly dismisses it with, he had to split.
Ha! Funny, because he cut him in half.
That's a better joke than like some of the other ones in this movie. But yeah, meanwhile.
It's because of Dynamo and Buzzsaw kills William, and Dynamo kills Harold. So those two are dead. But at the same time, Harold was with Amber, and Harold hacked the mainframe of the tower and was able to get the code that's to the mainstream and the main broadcast, so we can hack into the broadcasting system. And post whatever he wanted on there.
He gets the code, which is 1 2 3 4 5, and he has Amber memorize it, and she's just kind of like 1 2 3 4 5. That's what an idiot puts on his luggage.
Same combination on my luggage.
Yeah,
Running Man game.
Just had to work in that very easy Spaceballs reference. Continue.
So so Schwarzenegger kills Dynamo. Well, yeah.
No, he does.
What happens?
He doesn't kill Dynamo.
Dynamo catches up in his car. And then Dynamo flips his car, and he's like, "Oh no, I have no power. Cut the commercial. I have no power."
He flips the car over, and Schwarzenegger essentially mercies him.
He's like, "I don't kill innocent people, even scum like you," and leaves him there.
And this is like a turning point in the TV show, because everyone starts to realize that this Schwarzenegger dude might not be that bad. Like,
well, they don't know that he's not a murderer yet. But they just like him because he's getting everyone to like, oh man, he's really good. I'm rooting for him now, because then everyone starts placing bets on him, and then this old woman is like, who do you think is going to do the next kill? I think it's going to be Richard, or whatever, Ben Richards.
Can't be Richards.
I could choose anyone I want. I choose Ben Richards. He's a mean motherfucker.
I forgot that she calls him a mean motherfucker.
An 80-year-old woman just saying that is just like everyone, even the crowd was like, "Oh, hot damn!" What the hell?
Yeah, that was great. That's what got this movie the R rating, probably.
Not the guy getting his nuts cut off, or the guy almost raping Amber or anything like that.
That reminds me. So, okay, we're going to get back into the plot of this, but like before Amber is thrown into the game show, I texted you about this. She's talking to one of her friends, and the friend is like, oh, you're just so lucky that Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't hurt you. He could have raped you or killed you, or raped you, then killed you and raped you.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie.
He's crazy. And I was just like, holy shit. Like,
what a great friend to, worry about my feelings and how I feel about this.
Yeah, but she was also so catty about it. That's what got me. She literally sounded the way I said it. What's that?
She wants this to happen to herself.
Yeah, she clearly just is like missing something like in her life. I don't know, but like that happened, and I just remember hearing that, and I was like, holy shit. That got so dark. Anyway, back to the movie.
So then everyone's placing bets on him, and then the woman thinks that Ben Richards, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, is going to do the next kill, and they're like, okay. So then Fireball is sent out to go hunt them next. So now all that's left is...
Well, no, because before Fireball gets sent out, Killian reaches out to Schwarzenegger, and he's just like, you're doing a great job, Ben. What if you became a stalker? You remember? He tries to cut a deal with him.
Yeah, he's like, I have a contract, a 3-year contract where you could become a stalker. And he's like, it'd be great, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well.
Well.
I was like, I'll live to see you eat that contract, but I hope you leave room for my fist because I'm going to ram it down your stomach and break your goddamn spine. And he rips the camera off and throws the camera on the ground.
Yes. That is the most iconic part of this movie for a lot of people, by the way. That's like the part that people remember.
Yeah, if you go on a soundboard for Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes, that's going to be on there.
I think that was my first exposure to this movie was through a soundboard with that clip with you specifically. But yeah, it's insane because it's one of the great Schwarzenegger lines that like nobody ever talks about.
Or knows where it came from.
Yeah. It's The Running Man, 1987, ladies and gents. So that happens. The other guy, Fire or whatever the fuck. Fireball goes after him. And again, his gimmick is fire. Schwarzenegger kills him. I don't remember how he kills him, but he kills him. He axes him.
And in history, flamethrowers always worked out, right? Nothing ever went wrong with flamethrowers.
Yes, there was never any kind of malfunction or explosions or fire of any kind.
Oh yeah. Also, I have on my computer I have a picture of Jesse Ventura as what's Captain Freedom. He's definitely wearing a wig.
I don't need to know your pornographic preferences, but okay.
Other than that, all right. Yeah, he does go bald. If you look up older Jesse Ventura, he does have a shaved head, and then even older Jesse Ventura, oh god, he let his hair grow out, but only the part that's not bald. And so this one, he's definitely bald, and he is wearing a wig.
Gotcha. Right. So, but what happens next, Mike, in the movie itself?
Well, what happens is, what did we talk about last? Remind me again.
Fireball.
So Fireball goes out, and all that's left is Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's Ben Richards, and then Amber. So those are the two that are left. Amber has the code in her head. Arnold Schwarzenegger's just a muscle.
Yep. Arnold Schwarzenegger's job is to make sure they don't die, essentially.
Yeah. And what happens is Fireball catches up, and then they get split up because he apparently can walk through fire, which then makes the question of what else happens. And
yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger just tells her to run away as he distracts her by Donkey Konging, or not Cranky Konging, whatever his name was
it's still Donkey Konging.
He throws barrels at him, has him jump over it, and Amber gets away, but then gets into a locker room and then finds 3 dead corpses and screams, and then is okay with it because she doesn't freak out anymore. And it turns out to be the 3 winners of the show. It turns out that they didn't win, and the show lied again. Big friggin' surprise there, and they just died.
But Mike, we saw them earlier in the movie in Maui.
In Maui with some girls enjoying margaritas at Applebee's.
I guess it was digital fakery.
That's another problem. Is I feel like this bugged you, Nick. Is how they digitally edited everything and it made it look perfect. Like it's possible.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I actually accepted it because I was like, in a lot of ways, they actually accurately predicted the fact that we can do that. Like you can easily, using deepfake labs, do something like that now. Is it as good? No, but like you can do it.
So the part with Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's possible.
Yeah, so like I guess we should explain that because it is also the next thing that happens.
No, we don't want to skip too far ahead because now we find out this because we didn't talk about what happened to Fireball. Okay, well we talk about Fireball.
Finish off Fireball.
I will finish off. No, I don't want to finish off Fireball. I'll kill Fireball, and I like Fireball whiskey more though. That stuff's good.
See, this is news to me because I tried to get you to drink Fireball with me several years ago, and you left me out in the cold, and I had to drink both shots by myself, and then be.
Where were we though?
We were at a show, weren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were in Brooklyn.
I wanted to be sober because I was in New York at night and scared and a wee baby.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know my tolerance yet. Now I know I could take like 7 shots of Fireball whiskey and be fine. All right.
Yeah, Fireball's not too bad.
Weak. I've taken 5 shots of tequila. Good stuff. And be fine. So I think I can handle it now. So next time.
Good for you.
But what happens with Fireball? Fireball finds Amber. He's like, the winners, more like losers. They're like, ha 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 ha, they're dead.
Wow.
And what happens? He tries to burn her, but Schwarzenegger gets there in time and rips the fuse hose out of his pack. And like, a malfunction in the suit. Wonder what's gonna happen. But Schwarzenegger was able to get himself a road flare, lights that baby, and again, he could have used a one-liner from a previous movie, True Lies. He could have said, "You're fired," and then did his thing, but no, and I'm disappointed, okay? So he throws the flare at him, and he's like, no, and he blows up. I'm like, cool. And then, what's his catchphrase?
I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember any of this right now. That's why I've been like a little more quiet about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you in a second, because his catchphrase was, because... All right, before he blows him up, he's like, hey, Fireball, how about a light? Lights the flare, throws it at him, and then he blows up.
Wow.
And then he says, oh, God. Come on, what else does he say? What else? Oh, then, all right, I don't know what he says, but that's the catch line for that before he blows up. All right, but then...
That's a really bad, like, one-liner, though.
Again, your fire would have been perfect.
I guess it would have been perfect. I mean, this movie also did come out like 6 years before True Lies. So
did Mr. Freeze was he Mr. Freeze before this movie or after this movie?
No, Batman and Robin was the 90s.
Because you could have used some cool ice one-liners. You could use some one-liners on Sub-Zero from Mr. Freeze. Hey, name some good one-liners from Mr. Freeze, Nick.
Dude, none of them. They all sucked.
How dare you?
I haven't seen Batman and Robin in close to 20 years in my defense. That could be an episode of the podcast. That's how long it's been for me.
Batman is the only series of movies that's allowed to have cheesy one-liners. The 60s have started it.
So I don't hate Batman and Robin. I actually remember liking that movie as a kid a lot because it was cheesy and bad. It's probably one of the first bad movies that I remember liking. But like... Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd have to do Batman and Robin on the show sometime, I guess. Let's just let's put a pin in that.
I like the one with the Riddler.
The Riddler? That's Batman Forever with Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, and wasn't Batman and Robin with Val Kilmer, or was that George Clooney?
No, that was George Clooney.
And which one was Prince?
Batman. That was Tim Burton, the first one.
Was that George Clooney?
No, that was Michael Keaton, dude.
Jesus, there's so many.
Yeah, it's a mess. I mean, it's just a mess. But
we got Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Ben Affleck, Christian Bale. Anyone else I'm missing?
Robert Pattinson is going to be the next one. There's also all the animated Batmans.
Who was the very first Batman? Black and white one.
I don't know his name, but it was like from a film serial in the 40s.
See, Nick, you got to get on this, Nick. You're supposed to be the guy. You're the film guy. I expect you to know these things. You're making me look like a fool, Nick.
Well, what's funny is this episode was almost about, of all things, it was almost about the 50s Superman TV show. So it's like a weirdly, like tangentially related thing.
There you go. It's almost elegant.
It rhymes. Anyway, yeah, so what happens is that guy dies. He gets 86th. And then they decide
then we
what?
But,
was it my turn of phrase? No. Did my turn of phrase make you laugh, Mike? Oh, so funny. Nick is so funny.
He's so whimsical and charming. Oh, I want to be him when I grow up.
I'm going to hold on to that for the rest of my life.
I would take that clip and make it my ringtone.
Yeah. Every time you text or call me, I just want to be like him for the rest of my life.
Damn right you do.
I'll put a little vibrato at the end so your voice will wobble a little bit more for the rest of my life.
Oh my God. And now get on your knees and kiss my shoes.
Yes. I'm a humble genius, guys. So,
but what happens next is that we get the scene of that we talked about before about how Captain Freedom did not want to do it. They were dressing him up and he was getting in a weird suit, and he was looking at a poster beforehand. I'm pretty sure it was just his wrestling poster in real life and from WWF. Yeah, and that's how he did it. But now they're suiting him up in this like weird stuff, which I guess is kind of a call to like how older TV actors and how how TV progresses and how they used to change. Like, I guess silent films and talkies and how people were used to silent films actors, and then all of a sudden they had to talk and they didn't like that.
I think there's like some light commentary for that in there. I think they were also just having fun with the fact that Jesse Ventura is a wrestler. So they're trying to make him represent the purest form of gladiatorial combat by like just making him reject all the gadgets.
Jesse Ventura was a pro wrestler. Fireball was actually an NFL football running back.
Oh, okay.
So they had some famous people. They had some famous people there. Dynamo was an opera singer. We got Arnold Schwarzenegger, some actor from Austria.
Some dude. I think they found him off the street, honestly.
Richard Dawson, Family Feud. So this movie had a bunch of faces I'm sure in the 80s people recognized immediately.
Yeah. This movie like actually had some star power in it once you think about it. But yeah, he basically doesn't want to do all this contraption-y bullshit. And Richard Dawson, Killian is his character's name. I don't think we may not have established that, but like Killian is essentially just like, no, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a stunt double. We're going to use computer magic to replace his face with Arnie's, and you're going to kick the shit out of him and kill him so that the audience doesn't root for him.
They used old footage of Captain Freedom and then superimposed it of Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting another person, and they put them together and had that be the fight.
No, but they used that to make a stunt double because after they kill Arnold Schwarzenegger, you see like the digital effect end and it goes back to being someone else.
Oh yeah, but it was someone else that he killed before. It was an actual someone he died. It wasn't even a stunt double. It was just another person that they superimposed. Like they've.
No. It was a stunt double because like after they kill him, someone even says, "Jesus Christ, did you really have to kill him?"
Oh.
Yeah,
so they actually killed him.
Yeah, they basically did a deep fake in 1987, which is, again, it's like a weirdly accurate prediction because the technology isn't anywhere near this good, but like it is technically possible for me to get your brother, get a lot of high quality pictures of you that I have because we've worked together for so long, and digitally composite your face onto your brother and have him act in a video for you. Like, this is all well within the realm of reason. Like, I can do this from my laptop.
My God, you're smart.
I mean, it's not hard. It's just time consuming and you need a good computer.
It's not hard to you because you've done this kind of stuff before. But for me, it just sounds some hibbity-jibbity wizard baloney. I want to burn you at the stake for witchcraft kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, I guess, I don't know. I guess that's like kind of the thing. You talk about astronomy to me and it goes over my head, but to you, you're just like, oh yeah, you mean the blinky star, no blinky no more? Yeah, I love the blinky star, no blinky no more.
Ooh, pretty colors.
I'm Mike. I have a degree.
I have a degree. Don't you have a degree, Nick?
Yeah.
You have a degree and I don't, so.
I have a degree in economics.
I went to college.
Yeah.
Hey, Plankton.
Yeah. So
that happens. So they think the crowd thinks that Arnold Schwarzenegger is dead, but in real life they're not. Like, oh damn, we have a problem.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, Schwarzenegger and Amber have actually synced up with the rebels who are hiding near the battle area.
Yes, exactly.
They give him the password, and basically they're able to hack in and reveal they don't do it immediately. They give him the password and they get ready to go attack the game show and hack in. Basically, they want to hack in and they want to have people at the actual studio so that they can't override it easily. And Schwarzenegger basically is like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. He made it personal. I promised I'd be back. I wouldn't want to disappoint him.
But then at the same time, Amber gives them the raw footage of what happened at the helicopter. And he's like, where were you hiding that? I won't tell. He's like, oh.
Yeah, which is...
Made me question, did you shove that up her vagina? Because that's not healthy. That's not sanitary. All right? The entire time. During the okay. That thing was jostling around. They're probably broken to pieces and was like cutting everything up.
I'm honestly not even trying to address it. I'm not.
If they're gonna put that thing in there, like, oh, it's sexy, I'm gonna call it the logic in this thing. Bull.
No, it's a urinary tract infection. Moving on.
Exactly.
But they do eventually storm the compound. Schwarzenegger leads the charge there. They hack in. They show the undoctored footage of the butchering of Bakersfield or whatever. Basically, they exonerate Arnold Schwarzenegger of being the butcher. And at the same time, they show what really happened to the winning contestants from previous seasons. They show the skeletons on TV. Everyone, weirdly enough, immediately turns on Killian. And just then the rebels burst in and basically get into a gunfight with Killian's own private TV audience or TV security force.
And then after that, the guards get there and start shooting up the place and start killing innocent civilians at the same time too, which is solidifying what's going on. And this is still live on TV, and everyone in America is still watching it.
Yeah, so everyone gets a front row seat to this bloodbath, and they get to see that Schwarzenegger's the good guy and that Killian's is just batshit crazy and a homicidal maniac bent on getting good TV ratings. Your typical capitalist. So, sorry, I just heard the Soviet Union's anthem for some reason in the back of my head when I said that. That was weird.
And I just remembered towards the beginning when they were before they were trying to find someone like Schwarzenegger to be in it to raise the ratings. They were going through a list of people to choose, and one of them was a baby. Apparently, a baby's in jail for some reason.
Am I on a breadline? No, yeah, you're right. There was a baby. There was also a teacher who killed his wife,
and a suicide pact people. And did they commit suicide?
Well, obviously not.
Obviously not.
They're flakes. I don't want them on the show.
They're unreliable.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, so that happens. They're obviously all stopped. It's just Arnie and Richard Dawson now, Killian.
So, but yeah, it splits the two because we got Arnie and Dawson, and then we got Amber and Dynamo. So there's two different things going on at the same time.
Oh, that's right. Dynamo does come back, and he's on the cusp of raping Amber. Oh. Do you want to explain how Amber gets out of that?
Dynamo, she was laughing at Dynamo, and Dynamo's like, what's so funny? And she's like, because there's nothing funny about a... No, she wasn't laughing. She wasn't laughing at Dynamo's joke because Dynamo said something funny, I guess. And she's like, because there's nothing funny about a dickless moron. And he's like, I'll show you dickless. And then jumped on top of her. Was apparently able to get his pants off. And then,
I don't think he was wearing pants.
No, he's wearing pants. He's wearing pants. And then he then takes his pants off after that line. And then what happens is she sets off the fire alarm somehow. And turns the water. She shoots the fire alarm. She shoots the sprinkler systems, and then starts sprinkling on because apparently he was still wearing the suit. And then he gets electrocuted and dies.
Yes, so that takes care of Dynamo, and then we get the final confrontation between Arnold Schwarzenegger's character and Richard Dawson. Dawson basically, he tries to talk his way out of it. He's like, we just give the people what they want. They want violence. They want action, and we just give them
TV.
That.
It's just for their ratings. No hard feelings, right?
Yeah, and Schwarzenegger is this whole time they're circling the tube that sent Schwarzenegger into the game. Schwarzenegger just throws him onto the chair.
Well, his muscle, Dawson's muscle comes in and is like, all right, dude, go on and take out Schwarzenegger. But earlier, he insulted his muscle And whoops, hold on a second. Hit something.
Yep.
There we go. I knocked the wire out by accident. What happens is he insulted his muscle, telling him to get rid of Captain Freedom. He's like, "What? The steroids make you deaf? Get him out of here!" And then he took it personally. So and then he tells him to get rid of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, "Sorry, it must be the steroids." And then leaves. I'm like, "Damn, this guy sitting in the background the entire time doing this." And then Schwarzenegger's like, "All right, cool." And then just takes Dawson, throws him in the chair, locks him up, turns on the valve, like does something to the valve to make it faster and like no brakes and some stuff, and then launches him.
And then we get Dawson going through the tunnel, the really fun water slide, flying out and crashing into a sign with his own face in it, which explodes and kills him.
But what was his one-liner, Nick?
I don't remember actually.
Because Dawson goes, because when he locks me, he's like, I was like, "You bastard, drop dead." He's like, "I don't really take requests." And
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, so he says drop dead, and Schwarzenegger goes, "I don't take requests," launches him, and then he goes speeding down the tube from Action Park, and instead of braking like the others did, he goes flying out into one of his billboards and blows up, apparently.
Yep. And that's literally how the movie ends, by the way. We get like some 80s music playing after that. Amber and Swartzy, they hug it out, they kiss, and that's the movie. Literally, this totalitarian government, totalitarian TV police state is like seemingly overthrown in a single half an hour because the second Arnold Schwarzenegger's tape was played, they were all like, "Fuck this, I'm gonna read a book."
Screw TV.
Screw TV. We're going to go read literature. And then they just kind of like yeet their TVs out of the way, I guess, and the world is saved.
What happened to Captain Freedom? He just left?
Yeah, he just left.
He just leaves and becomes the governor of Minnesota. That's what happens.
I expected this movie to have like, I didn't expect the muscle to come back. I expected Captain Freedom to show up and stand up for Killian and for there to be a final fight. There wasn't a final fight in this. It was literally Arnold Schwarzenegger walking up to the host of Family Feud, tying him to a chair, and then yeeting him down a tube at 300 miles an hour.
I love it.
I love it. I genuinely, it's great.
And that's how the new host of Family Feud came to be.
Yeah. But I don't know. Mike, what do you think of this movie?
Well, I've seen this a bunch of times. And
Wait, really? Like a bunch of times?
Yeah, I've seen it more than once.
Okay, I know it's playing on TV for the record. It's actually playing on television like the day this episode comes out. I'm not kidding.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I've seen it growing up. I've seen this movie before. Not young. Don't worry. I didn't get exposed to that young, but
dang.
I guess late middle school, then high school, and then when community college. I've been watching it a lot. So I've seen this movie a bunch of times, so I know this movie. So it was my phase of trying to watch all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. That's how I came across Hercules Goes to New York because of that.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I actually had only seen this movie once, maybe twice. I think I might have seen it. I might have saw it with you the first time because I saw it when I was like in the 8th or 9th grade, which is around the time it sounds like you saw it. So yeah, there's a good chance we've seen it together at some point. That was like 10 years ago, so I'm not going to remember it. But yeah, I mean, I saw it and I remember liking the ripping the TV off the wall and screaming stuff. I liked the I'll be back only in a rerun. But like, I was actually pretty surprised by this movie. I really liked it. It's the definition of a middle-of-the-road Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but when you bring that into account and you realize that a middle-of-the-road Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is still a really fun movie, like, I don't know, it's worth your time, I think.
Yeah. I would recommend you watch it once. It's not bad, but it's a typical 80s action movie. So you're going to get that.
It's very much a product of its time, and there are way better Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, right? Like, I'm literally right next to a copy of Terminator on VHS, and that's like,
well, let me ask you this
one
then.
of the best ones.
What's better? Okay. What's better, this movie or Last Action Hero?
Last Action Hero, I like Last Action Hero more. I know that movie got like critically derided when it came out, but that movie's a lot of fun.
It's funny, and I like this movie more. It keeps
You
me
do?
entertained.
You like this one
Yeah.
more?
I don't
Is there
know.
a reason why? Is it just more memorable to you, or it's shorter? That's definitely a thing this movie has over Last Action Hero.
Probably something really simple of like, ooh, flashy colors or some one-liner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the art style in this movie. Like, I made a joke about half the movie being tinted red earlier, but I actually really like that art style.
Was there a reasoning behind it?
It's just like a cool dystopian neon color for the 80s. Yeah, I mean, you know my apartment. Like, you've never been to it, but you know that I have like my Technicolor lights. So like the art style syncs up with my sensibilities enough. Yeah. At the end of the day, I recommend this movie. I rented it on YouTube personally. It is on Hulu if you have a Starz subscription right now. And like I said, it's on TV the day this episode comes out. So,
Or you could rent it for $3 on YouTube.
yeah, just rent it for $3 on YouTube. Honestly, it's $3. I don't know. There are other Schwarzenegger movies I'd recommend before this, but if you haven't seen this one,
Oh, yeah.
and you've seen other Schwarzenegger movies, like definitely watch it. I prefer a movie like Commando over it any day, but it's hard to top Commando at the same time. But yeah, that's The Running Man.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on it you want to add in, Mike, or nah?
I would say choose another bad 80s action movie and watch it side by side and see if they're exactly the same. Find what? Even better. Find an 80s Stallone action movie similar to this and watch it side by side.
I think Demolition Man's as close as it gets, right?
I'm thinking Demolition Man.
Yeah, that's like pretty
Dystopian
close.
future.
Dystopian
Not even
future.
a dystopian future.
You're right. Isn't
Not
it
even
more
a-
utopian?
It's more of a utopian future where Taco Bell is taking over the fast food thing, apparently. But
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's that's The Running Man. I hope you guys enjoyed our little discussion of it. If you've seen this movie before and you want to chime in with your thoughts, your favorite one-liner, all that stuff, be sure to hit us up on social media, Twitter or Instagram at TheMediaObscura. You can also send in your recommendations for future episodes. You could say hi. You could just literally wave obnoxiously at us and go, "Hi, how are you guys?" That's my impression of the average human being. Was it demeaning? Do you think that was mean? That was definitely mean. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you could do that. You could send us recommendations for episodes. Do whatever. Say hi. Say bye. Say shamalama ding dong.
ooh,
And yeah, we're weekly again, so we're going to be back with an episode next week. We haven't picked out what we're watching yet, but it's going to be wild. It's going to be fun.
it'd be crazy.
It's going to be excellent. It's going to be great.
do. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
One of these days, we'll do a full episode with those fucking voices, and we'll just lose every listener we have. But yeah, so that brings us to the end of the episode, guys. Hope you have a good one. Hope you enjoyed it. And bye.
Love you.